Donald Trump is to his bones a racist. The persistent bigotry knows no bounds. And because he is the President of the United States, he is practically untouchable. And he knows it. I don't know about the rest of you, but every time I think Donald Trump can't sink any lower, he somehow manages to prove me wrong. His behavior has become so blatantly foolish that it's almost surreal. 2.5 centuries after this country was founded, and he still behaves as if black people are subhuman, as if we're slaves, as if we're animals. Colonization birthed racism. My friend told me recently, she is not racist. However, in the same breath, she said, I cannot see herself voting for a black president or prime minister. I said to myself, it is probably going to take another 200 years to get rid of this crippling disease called racism. Thank you so much and welcome back to the channel, and thank you for supporting the channel. I truly appreciate every single one of you. None of it is taken for granted. If you have not subscribed yet, please do so. It is free and you will be supporting me. Thank you. Let us continue. By now, many of you have seen the news about the AI-generated video Donald Trump released. In it, he depicts himself as a lion, the so-called king of the jungle, while portraying former President Barack Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama as primates, as apes. This is the image he thought was clever, amusing, or powerful. Anyone in this country, and frankly anyone around the world, understands how deeply offensive and racist that depiction is. It's not subtle. It's not accidental. It's vile. I am almost certain even his youngest son must be embarrassed of Donald Trump's juvenile behavior. This man has been espousing racist views since the 1970s, and now here we are in 2026, and nothing has changed. What we're seeing is a disgusting, vile image coming not from some random TikTok account or a fringe page on X, but from the Oval Office itself. And then, right on cue, we have Caroline Leavitt stepping in as the so-called defender-in-chief, ready to justify and excuse anything Donald Trump does, as if he were her Lord and Savior. She dismisses it all as fake outrage. Fake outrage in a country with a long, brutal history of what black people have endured. Calling that fake is not just dishonest, it's offensive. The people who support this vile man are themselves racists. Can you imagine Keir Starmer doing the same stunt in the UK? That would be the end of his premiership. In the UK, scandal isn't dismissed as fake outrage. It's treated as a liability. Quite simply, if an employee from a junior level right up to the CEO posted that crap, they would be fired immediately because no organization or company would want to be associated with that kind of thinking because companies understand reputational risk. What I find truly shocking is that nearly 70 million people voted for Donald Trump fully aware of his record. This is a man whose family was sued for housing discrimination against black Americans, who promoted racist lies about Haitians, who referred to Somali Americans as garbage, who called African nations shitholes, and who had the audacity to ask a fellow world leader where he learned to speak English, remarks widely condemned as racist. At some point, ignorance is no longer a defense. This wasn't hidden. It was public, repeated, and deliberate. What that vote represents is not confusion but tolerance, and for many, acceptance of racism directed at black and brown people. The pattern is one of dehumanization, reducing entire groups to caricatures, insults, and suspicion. History shows us where that kind of rhetoric leads when it is normalized and rewarded with power. Where is the voter's moral responsibly? Some people were asking me, why can't this man be kicked out of the Oval Office? Well, here are some of the blunt truths. Bear in mind that in the US, the presidency has been turned into a brand. First of all, there is no automatic president removal mechanism. In the US, a president does not lose office because of racism, lies, corruption allegations, inflammatory rhetoric, or public outrage. The Constitution only gives two paths: impeachment and conviction, or resignation, voluntary. That's it. Now, if one decides to go for impeachment, well, impeachment is a political process, not a moral one. Impeachment requires a majority in the House to impeach, a 2/3 vote in the Senate to convict and remove from office. That second part is the wall. Senators are partisan actors. If a president's party controls enough seats, or is simply unwilling to break ranks, removal will not happen, no matter how severe the conduct looks to the public. Right now, conservatives hold more seats. That means the Americans and the rest of the world will have to continue dealing with this vile dictator. So, historically, senators prioritize the following: party power, their own re-election, donor and base reactions, over accountability. Now, resignation only happens when political support collapses. So, the only time a president resigns is when their own party abandons them. For instance, Richard Nixon resigned not because he was exposed, but because Republican leaders told him the Senate would convict him. So, if a president retains party loyalty, maintains a devoted voter base, controls messaging through friendly media, then there is no incentive to resign. The public can be so outraged as they wish. As long as this racist Trump has the support of the Senate and voter support, he will not resign. The system protects the office holder first, not the public sense of justice. Now, this is the crashing reality. The presidency has become insulated from shame. And Donald Trump knows it well, and he is flaunting the rules almost on a daily basis. In case you have never noticed, the system is not designed to protect black people. So what once would have ended a political career is now reframed as fake outrage, witch hunts, the media lying. That framing works, especially when racial harm is involved, because the system has never been designed to fully protect black people or respond urgently to their outrage. Here's the blunt truth. Donald Trump hasn't been forced to resign because the Constitution doesn't allow removal without political will, and enough powerful people decided protecting power mattered more than accountability. This feels especially enraging for black Americans because it isn't new. It's a replay, and your body recognizes the pattern even when people around you pretend it's just politics. Black Americans have been shown over and over that racism can be open, evidence can be public, harm can be undeniable, and still nothing happens. From slavery being legal, to lynching being ignored, to segregation being defended, and to police violence being explained away, the lesson has always been the same. The system is designed to protect itself before it protects black lives or dignity. So, when a president does something racist and faces no real consequence, it doesn't feel shocking. It feels confirming. And that hurts in a very specific way to the black majority. This tells black people exactly where they rank. Your pain does not rise to the level of urgency. That message is enraging because it's not subtle. It's hierarchical. It says some people's outrage threatens stability, and others' outrage is just noise. Because black anger is always policed. Be calm, or you're angry. Be loud, or you're dangerous. Be silent, or you must not care. So, when black Americans express rage at racism coming from the Oval Office, the response isn't empathy. It's tone policing. That alone is infuriating. Black people are expected to respond to dehumanization politely. So, watching Donald Trump face no consequences for behavior that would cost an ordinary black person their job, reputation, or safety exposes a brutal truth, because it reopens generational wounds. It feels like looking at the calendar and realizing decades passed, that the country never moved. Please consider subscribing to the channel. It helps support the work that I'm doing here. Like and share. Your comments are important because they help start conversations and build this community.